beginning my employment with the DA's office here, I was a veteran of the United States Air Force, the only candidate in this race that's a veteran of the United States Air Force. I'm also the only candidate that is a former police officer as well. And I believe that Smith County deserves a true conservative Republican on the bench, not a campaign conservative or a campaign Republican. And I'm a God-fearing, flag-waving, gun rights supporting American conservative, and my political views do not change for political convenience. Whenever you look at this race, I think the most important thing is going to be the experience in this race. Look at the competitors, look at the candidates, and the experience that they have. Since I left the DA's office in 2006, I've personally handled over 1,600 criminal cases and over 350 family law cases. I'm the only candidate since 2006 here in Smith County courts that have handled that many cases in criminal and in family law. Whenever you look at the experience, it plays an important factor because this court, County Court at Law, is the second busiest family law court in Smith County. It handles 30% of all the family law cases filed here in Smith County. So it's important for a judge to know the family law. And the only way you know it is by doing it. And I have done it. Now, a lot of people say this court is backed up. It's got a backlog of cases. We also need somebody that has a plan to change that, to get those cases moving. If I'm elected, I'm going to change that. The first thing is changing the arraignment dates. Making arraignment dates instead of being 4 months to 2 months to move the cases. Another thing is by installing scheduling orders on all criminal cases and all family law cases. I know scheduling orders work because I utilize them in family law cases and in the felony cases. I'm the only one that does the family law out of all the candidates, and I know that the scheduling orders work. Whenever you look at the experience that matters. Look at the experience in the Smith County courts that matters. Whenever you look at the experience, you're going to see that I'm the best qualified candidate for this position. Whenever you look at the experience, look at the numbers. But don't take my word for it. Go do your own research. Got all the numbers from the Smith County District Clerk's office? You can do the same. Look at the numbers and you'll see that experience matters and that I have the experience to do this. Whenever you go into the ballot box, just remember the 3 R's. Radican, Republican, right choice. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jason Ellis, and it's good to see everyone here this evening. I see a lot of faces I know under the lights here. But my wife's with me here this evening. You may know her, Andrea Ellis. She works as a family doctor with Mother Francis. We live right here in Tyler. In fact, we practice our whole careers here. I started as a prosecutor with the district attorney's office, and it was my honor to serve you then as a prosecutor. I worked very well with that office, and so I have a great relationship with that office. I spent my whole career practicing in Smith County, much of it in a county court of law. And what I can tell you based on my experience in that court is that we can do better in Smith County. And when I say that, what I mean is the docket is backed up. Mr. Radican's right about that. The docket's backed up and it takes too long to get orders signed. Now there are real things we can do. I want to tell you what distinguishes me as a candidate. We may agree now apparently that the docket's backed up, but I was the only candidate willing to enter the race and do something about it when the incumbent was still seeking re-election. Now what I mean by that is I don't mean to be critical of the sitting judge, but what I do mean to say is leadership stands up. Leaders have to stand up and make the right call. And they have to make the right call even when it's a difficult call. I was the only candidate who was willing to enter this race and do something about it when it was a fight with an incumbent. That's because I believe there are real things we can do. And from day one, I'm the only candidate who's been talking about my plan to change the court. Here's what we can do. We can cancel the unnecessary hearings. We don't need recall arraignment. It's the only court that has it. We can get rid of it. Court time is a precious commodity, and we have to use it wisely. We can also end the continuances. There's an endless string of continuances. If we stop that and get the trial docket moving again, we're going to honor the times of jurors, the time of law enforcement officers who spend their time in the hallways instead of out in the streets, policing our streets. We're going to honor the time of victims who come to the courthouse. We have to move the trial docket so we can respect the time of the people who are there to handle the very personal matters. But you know, it's more about a plan to move the docket. We also need a candidate who shares our values. You see, the law does not tell a judge often what he has to do. It gives the judge limits, and within those limits, folks, let me tell you, you're going to see a judge express their discretion. And that's where you're going to want a candidate who shares your values. Well, I do share your values, Smith County. I'm a conservative. I'm a Christian. My wife and I attend Bethel Bible Church. I encourage you to test me on the issues. I think you'll find that I'm passionately pro-life, and I believe in traditional family values. But conservative values don't mean a lot unless you put them in action. And that's why I have a real plan to get that court moving again. I've heard my opponents say a lot in the last few months we've been running. They've said a lot about the kind of lawyers they've been, but they haven't said a lot about the kind of judges they're going to be. From day one, you've heard Jason Ellis tell you what kind of judge I'm going to be and what I think we could do to restore conservative principles to that bench and make the court run well again. We can do better as long as we're willing to demand better. I'm Jason Ellis, and I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.